Blackpool, place famous for its tower, the three piers, the pleasure beach, and of course the illuminations. Not the first place you probably think of for natural beauty. 100 years ago, 1926, where I am today, Stanley Park was opened to the public, a place for people of all ages and all classes to come and just stroll and enjoy some natural viewing. So, on today's Sunday sermon, I'm going to have a look at some of the parts of Stanley Park. Show the title card. A public park in Blackpool had been muted by the local council since about 1890. For this, they needed land, and they turned to Sir Albert Lindsay Parkinson, a local Tory peer, who owned a big swath of land which was mainly just wasteland, which had some pigsties on it and other various buildings. He sold this to the council for their plan. Some more land was required and was actually either compulsory purchased or donated by members of the council, including John Bickerstaff, who was the mayor at the time. The plans for Stanley Park were drawn up by landscape architects and town planning company T.H. Mawson and Sons. A Lancashire businessman reportedly told Mawson that without the Blackpool Resort, there would be a revolution in Lancashire, as it was a popular destination for many industry workers. When the park came to be built in the 1920s, the provision of sporting activities for the middle classes was an important theme for British resort towns. The park was opened on the 2nd of October 1926 by the 17th Earl of Derby, who was called Edward Stanley, hence why it's called Stanley Park. I am stood here at the south entrance, and these two gate posts are possibly the oldest part of Stanley Park. These used to be the gate posts for a place called Leighton Hall, which was obviously in Leighton, near Leighton Cemetery. You've seen us there a few times. Now on the taller posts where the gates are, used to have pineapples on them, but obviously, as with most things, it probably they got nicked. I don't know how they would have nicked them though, unless they weren't properly glued on. But yeah, this is the south entrance to the park, and these came from Leighton Hall. Oh, the wind's picking up now. But in front of us here we have Cocker Clock Tower. Named in memory of William Cocker, the first mayor of Blackpool. It originally was supposed to be, they wanted it as a war memorial, but they gave the design. I think they let the public decide. And when they designed this clock tower, which is currently going under refurb for the centenary, round it there are old drinking fountains, which you obviously can't use now, health and safety and all that. And there is obviously a thing here. And all this is. Yeah. It says there, if I can see it, only not very much. This tower was erected in the year 1926, Jubilee of the Corporation of the Borough of Blackpool. So it's a Jubilee. I'm guessing that's 25 years since it became the borough. In honour of William Henry Cocker, Esquire, JP, just as the beast, first mayor and honorary freeman of the borough. Here at the, I think this will be the north side of the tower, we have the entrance to the clock tower, which I think you can only go in if you're, very, very special, or have a more upstanding YouTube channel, of course. There's the crest of Blackpool there, progress. There's the door. There's big lights here, they actually shine on it at night time. And just there is one of the, I'll tell you what, I'll get closer. Just there is one of the old lion drinking fountains there. Another feature, of course, is the main Italian gardens. The main focus that Thomas Mawson designed. Now, as like I say, a lot of construction or reconstruction is going on. Looks like they're redoing the fountain here. There's the 4 statues. Not too sure what they are, I'll be honest. I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me, hopefully. Let's just have a look at this one. I think these were removed a couple of years back, and I don't know if they were removed because they were stolen or they were just removed to stop vandals. This is the fountain here, like I said, going under repair. Now there's normally, I think it's seahorses, which obviously spray water into the fountain. Looks like they've taken those out. Must be refurbing them. Hopefully it'll all be done. It's actually October, I should have said that. It's actually October, the sort of official centenary here, when it was opened by Edward Stanley, Earl of Derby. Yeah, it'd be nice when that's back up and running. Always says no dogs or children allowed. People don't pay attention to any signs though. Coming over in front of us here is one of the 2 Medici lions, originally donated from Stowe House or Hall in Buckinghamshire. These aren't the originals, sadly. I think the originals might have gone back. The originals were of course, like a lot of things sadly in Blackpool, were vandalised. So these are actually, I think they're just bronze casts of the originals. But yes, there we go. Sadly, not the originals. And here we are at the Art Deco Cafe, designed by C.J. Robinson. He was actually designed quite a few things here in Blackpool. At the moment in town, there is the old, what was called the Stanley buildings, being renovated. But here is the cafe, all its glory. Very nice food, rather expensive. But it's nice to go in there. It's probably nice to sit out during the summertime as well. It can get quite warm in there. This here is an information board on Stanley Park, showing the cafe in about 1938 from view from the Cocker Memorial, and obviously just up from the Italian Gardens. And we stand at the foot of the grave of Thomas Hayton Mawson. He was born 5th of May 1861, died 14th November 1933, and he was the main architect and landscape gardener of the Italian Gardens in Blackpool Stanley Park. He's buried here, I'm guessing with quite a lot of his family, because these are all plot numbers from 34 to about 40. Here we are in Carlton Crematorium, and we are stood at Rosebed 14, and here are the ashes of J.C. Robinson, the man who designed the cafe in Stanley Park. He was born 1879, died in 1954. His ashes were spread on this rosebed. Here we are in Martin Cemetery at the gravesite of Sir Albert Lindsay Parkinson, Knight and Justice of the Peace. He died 3rd of February 1936, 10 years after the opening of Stanley Park, of which he donated a lot, well, actually sold a lot of his land for it to be created. And he's buried here with his wife Margaret. Just move this other branch out. He's buried with his wife Margaret. She died 30 years later, 1966. So there we go. There's some parts of Stanley Park here in Blackpool for you. There's obviously a lot more to see. There's obviously the bowling greens, the golf course, which was designed by a Mr. Mackenzie, who was actually went to design golf courses in America. I think he's actually he died and was buried there. There's obviously the big sports centre that was built. I was on top of some old greenhouses that were here. There's obviously the kids' playground. Went there as a kid myself, and obviously took my son George there. And just lots of other things. There's obviously the most important thing for Mandy and I is obviously the wildlife. We love coming to see feed the squirrels, and we saw the swans. The swan's nest, by the way, we've been keeping an eye on. That still hasn't hatched yet. But we did see another set of swans with some of their little chicks, or cygnets, if you want to be precise. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please follow, please, come to Blackpool and visit Stanley Park. It's not all about shoving fish and chips down your face and getting sick on the roller coasters. But that's all from me. As always, God bless, God save England, and see you on the next one. Bye for now. Just testing here, and we are just seeing some baby swans, little cygnets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly. Don't know if these are our swans we've been keeping an eye on over the last couple of weeks. Oh, hello, Mr. Rat.
Oh, hello.
Rat down there. Let's see that. Oops. Oh, every time I get it wrong. There you go, a splinter.